All right, so now is almost the time that you were all waiting for, talking about centrality in R. Um, First, we need to do a few things. First, we need to import some data. So, how do you import a data set? Basically, that's like an Excel file, if you will, with all of the data in it. You go on import data set right here. That's the easiest way. And you do from text, we're going to take a text file. Um, Usually it's read in Excel, but it's more of a text file. So it's going to do a better job with that one. You browse for the file, which can be found, by the way, right here in Desire to Learn. So data one, it's called, not codes data one. We'll talk about this file right up here after. So it's a CSV file. Okay. So all right, let's look for it. So I downloaded it already in my computer. You should download the file. Boom. I can find it here. You see data1.csv. It's in my stuff. Open. Okay. So what does the computer does? It writes the code for you because everything is going to be based on code. It's going to just write the code for you and also show you the view. So import. Boom. It creates this table that allows you to view all of the data at the same time. Okay, so that's pretty cool. You can get a very good glimpse. Almost all of the variables are there. I will show you in a few seconds how to view them a little bit differently. Let's see what the computer has done. Basically, R just wrote this code for us. Okay, that's what importing the data set did. It wrote the code for us, and then it executed a code called view data, and view data generated this window up here. All right, very cool. So a little bit more about the data. First, I told you that you can't see all of the variables in the view data. So it looks very nice. It's very graphic, looks good. But you can only see 1 to 12 of 183 entries and 99 columns. Okay, well, we have a few more than that. Okay, so first I'm going to show you another command in order to get the data. So this one will allow you to see a little bit better. It's called str. It's to see what variables refer to. By the way, I will give you all of that at the end, okay? So if you type it in there, you see, by the way, I'm in console. I'm not in script this time. I could have done it from script, exact same thing, except that this time it just executed directly. So it's going to be a little faster for us if we decide to use that. We will use simple codes for now, so we'll do it in the console directly. So you see here that it shows you, for instance, that there's a variable RT6. It's a numerical variable. And that's it. That's all of the answers. It was Likert scale, so all of the answers were between 1 and 7. And so it shows you basically the first respondents. Not all of the scales were Likert scales. You see this one, did you take information from the stadium that was coded between 0 and 1? So it gave it to us. Here was characters, okay? Well, gave it to us as well. So that's how you get a good overview of the data by typing str, okay? And then you will get, you know what, maybe I'll do it in script anyway, actually. And at the same time, I'll show you again. R script, boom. R script, I'm going to, so in order to save time typing, I just pre-recorded everything. So you want to put str data one, okay? And str stands for structure, okay? But here you have to control enter, okay? So you see it did the exact same thing. Okay, now there's one more problem. What does all of that mean? In order to understand what the codes for each variable mean, we need something else that can be found in D2L, and that's the book of code that you could find in codes RM data 1. Okay, And so if you go in there, it's an Excel spreadsheet. You can download it, by the way. You will need it throughout the semester. And there, you can see what that means. So let's say we had this variable, if you remember, STAD. The variable was access information from the stadium. Okay. So by the way, that was a survey assessing the fans' experience of their favorite website. Okay. So all of our example for the beginning of the semester will be on this. So for every single variable, we will use this um, book of code in order to know really what they are referring to. Okay, what are all of those referring to? That's very important, right? Otherwise, just a code. So together we will talk about. I took the example of a variable that I always take example is satisfied with the website SAS1. Satisfied with the website. So, okay, we'll see if the respondents were satisfied with the web. All right. So now that you know how to view the data, that you know how the codes are related to the variables, let's keep on going. All right. So let's go back here in this view. So the first concept that we studied in our lecture was the mean. Okay. So let me show you an example of how to get the mean. To get the mean of the variable SAS1, we will type mean, open the parenthesis. Then we have to put data to tell the computer what file we chose it from. Then the dollar sign, and then the name of the variable. Okay? Mean, data1, dollar sign, variable, and then shut the parenthesis. And then, since we're in the script, you have to control enter to execute. Control enter. Okay, so we had a mean at 5.8. By the way, that was a Likert scale coded between 1 and 7. Okay, so overall, people are very satisfied with their experience of the website. 5.8 out of 7. That's mean that they strongly agreed with the statement. Again, all of that is explained there between 1 and 7. You see it's coded there 1 to 7 from strongly disagree to strongly agree. Okay, all right, let's go back there. Okay, so that's how you do the mean. First, the name of the data set, then dollar sign and the name of the variable. Second code, how to get the median. Oh, by the way, every time you will see this little sign there, behind I can write any text that I want. So I will tell you, I will give you a little description, okay? And then I tap the function, and you see that below in the console you get the result. Okay, so I'm just gonna write everything in the script for now. So median, same thing, very easy. Median, open the parentheses, data set, dollar sign, name of the variable, control enter to execute. The median was at 6. So, all right, that was the mean, the median. Now, unfortunately, it's a little bit more difficult for the mode, which is our last concept. Okay. So for the mode, we have a full-on formula with some very weird syntax. Okay, so let's go step by step with that syntax. There are 3 lines, okay? So the first line is just the text to tell you, okay, let's get the mode for the variable SAS1, okay? It requires a package. So I haven't talked to you about packages just yet. In um, R, you will need to install packages which are little uh, sub-software, if you will. There are little application within the software to do specific tasks. So here we need to install the package modest, okay? So you see, the first line of code is simply to install the package. So if when you do it on your own, you start by installing the package modest. Then you need to read modest. Okay, so first you install it in your software, then you tell the computer, okay, you know what, we need this package in order to process the little formula that's below. Okay, so that's the best way to say it. So that is some code simply to calculate the mode. What does it mean? Bear with me, we don't care. We absolutely don't care. The only thing we care about is that it is how you do the mode. It's a function that's been created just for us, okay, in this modest package. The only thing that we need to know is that if we type this formula after installing and loading the package and we execute, we will get the mode. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit of a black box here. You see here, I select everything, I control enter, and you see here it says installing the package first. That's fine. It's going to take a second. Then it says, okay, library, we're going to open it. See, I put a little text to explain to you what each line of code means. Then that's it. We execute the function that was pre-recorded by somebody who was kind enough to do it. That wasn't me. And 6, finally, that's our result. That's our mode. All right, so now we are almost done. Just one last thing before you go. You see how every single time we put the name of the data set and then the name of the variable we want to work with. You don't necessarily always have to do that. There is a shortcut, and I'm going to show it to you. Here you see, to make it a little bit less boring, we can simply use attach. Attach data1, meaning that all of the variables below will be part of the dataset data1, very simply. So here, boom, I highlight everything, control enter. And as you can see here, once again, it worked. We get some results we had prior, except that this time we will be able to omit writing data1 in the dollar sign. That's one way. The last way, and probably a little bit more complex, but I'll show it to you anyway, is that we could also use something a little bit different called piping. So let me give you an example here. Sometimes when we have many operations to do, we will use what's called piping. For instance, here I created an object called satis, and I decided, all right, you know what? I'm going to use uh, a bunch of syntax here, and so everything comes from data1. So I'm just going to put data1 then, and then I put that little sign there. That's percent greater than percent. It's what we call piping. That means then, very simply. And we will use then when the code is intricate. First, I take data1, then I select variable SIS1 and variable gender. Then, you see, we will group by gender. Then we will summarize the average satisfaction, and that's which is equal mean SIS1. So you see, it's a lot, more code than we used so far, but it will work the same way. Okay. Um, yeah, of course, if I don't take library, so that's what's tricky when you use those longest code. You really have to highlight everything. Here we go. So you see here with the function which we will learn later, by the way. Uh, you select all of this code all at once. And by the way, since we saved Satis, we could then decided to run it. And this, since we saved the object, we just click on the object and it gives us all of the information that we needed all at once. All right, that's it for now. Your turn to practice.